Hello, and how are you doing today? I am Gojenn. I'll be your hostess today. I need to figure out what episode this is. Um, I've been doing this since February of last year, so I should probably be up to episode 60 or 70, something like that. I'll try to research that and get back to you, okay? Okay. How are you doing? Are you working on something that you enjoy? I hope so, because sometimes we work on projects that we start off enjoying, or we start off hoping to learn something by working on that project. But then over time, it just gets to be a real chore. So I hope you're not working on any chore knitting. I know it's getting kind of close to the holidays, so maybe you're working on a gift for someone you love. So I always like to think of the person that I'm giving the gift to, and think about how much I love them, and think about things that we've shared. Happy thoughts, and just put love into every stitch when I'm making it. That just it just makes it a really special gift. What I want to talk to you about today is the owl. If you remember my owl project for the Harry Potter Knitting and Crochet House Cup on Ravelry, my project is to crochet and knit 12 hats from September 1st to November 30th. I am right on schedule, so I was going to show you what I've got so far. I think I showed you pictures before, but I know you need to see it on an actual head, right? This first one, I chose 3 patterns. This is my absolute favorite hat pattern. It's called the Divine hat pattern, and it is crochet. This is crocheted from a Caron cake, so the color changes are just in the way the yarn is made. I love, love, love the way it swirls. It's a very simple pattern, but it really is about my favorite. Cuteness, right? And I'm thinking this is neutral enough for a gentleman, or for these are all adult size hats. That's part of the deal. They're all adult size. And I'm making 4 each. Well, I'm making 4 hats of this one pattern, the Divine hat, and I'm making 4 hats of another pattern, the Lattice hat, and I'll show you that in a minute. Here's another Divine hat. This one, I made the brim to turn up because it's too long for me with the brim down. So if you have a larger head, of course, it'll fit, or if you want the brim to kind of keep your ears warm. Cuteness. Isn't this fun? Okay, here's another one, and this is out of another Caron cake that has a blue yarn in it. This one is bigger. Okay, yes, you can tell. And with the brim rolled down, it's even bigger. But I'm thinking this is a man's hat, or it's a floppy slouch hat for a teenager or for anybody, adults. And this also is the Divine pattern. So that's 3. This is another one out of the same yarn, the same cake of Caron cakes, but you see how the different place in the yarn makes it, the color changes different. I really enjoy working with the Caron cakes. I got 4 initially in these kind of neutral colors, but I have some brights coming because I really want to make a Venus shawl. If you are in Ravelry, please check out the Venus pattern. If you crochet, it is gorgeous. And this is another one that's kind of slouchy, with the brim up or down. Cuteness. I like that stripe of blue in it. I really do. And again, I love how the crown of these hats works. So that was my 4 Divine hats. I'm done with Divine. That pattern, I'm finished. Yay me! Okay, here we go. This pattern is called the Lattice hat. And you see it looks pretty much the same at the top as the Divine hat. Same designer, but look at that. These are post stitches, front and back post stitches. This is my favorite one that I've made so far. It fits me, and I think this one's staying with me because it's a good, these hats are very solidly made because of the way you work a post stitch. You have to have the fabric behind it, and then you come back around with the post stitches to create that texture. And this is another lattice hat. This was first. This is the second one. This is also a Karen cake. This one is not. This is from Karen Simply Soft. This is a skein of that, about 2/3 of a skein. This hat fits my head better. And I really, really enjoy this pattern because it just creates its own texture. This is a slouchy, or it's like for a bigger, a man or somebody with a ponytail maybe. And that also has this beautiful texture at the top. But the Divine hat just comes round in single way. This lattice hat goes back the opposite way as well. I think it's just beautiful. So these are my 3 lattice hats. So I've got one more lattice hat to make. And then the third crochet pattern that I'm using is the thick and chunky crochet hat. And I love this pattern because it is beautiful. And that's my own opinion, and for what it's worth, this is just a plain round crown to the hat, but you see the texture stitches there of the cables. Are you able to see that? I hope so. This is a Karen cake, remember, with that blue stripe. This hat is another Karen Simply Soft. All of these are acrylic. All of these are washable. Oh, I only have 2 of these because I have one more of these to make. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, let me see if I can find it. Bad podcaster. I was supposed to get all my ducks in a row. Do you ever do that? You think, okay, I got all my ducks. Line up, ducks. And then the darn things, they just go off. This is my one knit hat. It is going to be the Barley hat, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Tin Can Knits. All of these are free patterns on Ravelry. So if you want to make any of these hats, they're free. Just search the Divine hat, which is crochet, the Lattice hat, which is crochet, and the Thick and Chunky, or the Thick and Warm crochet hat, and that's also crochet. This is the Barley hat, which is knit, and I just have to go around and around and around, because you see this is the cuff of the hat, well, rim, what do you call that? Cuff. Brain not working. Where I did back and forth ribbing for that. And now I am just knitting around. It has mostly garter stitch, but then it comes to a little section here where I have to knit and purl. I don't like purling, but I do it because I don't like it because it's more difficult for me, but that doesn't mean it's bad. And it doesn't mean I don't like the hat. I do. I just need to go ahead and work on it and get that going. So that is really all I have to show you this time on this episode, whichever number it is. Another thing that I'm doing on Ravelry is I participate in the another game which is very much like Harry Potter, in which you knit or crochet something to meet a quest or a challenge. And this little the team I'm on, and that is called, well, the game is Nerdopolis, Nerdopolis, and that's just a group. You can find them on Ravelry. And the team I'm on is Team PI, for Paranormal Investigations. And this is our mascot. And he is traveling around to everybody in the group. Let me see if I can let you see him. See, he's a little rock star. And he has been around everybody in the group. And so it's time for him to visit me. And I'm taking him to the beach when we go camping in a couple weeks. So I think that's all I have to tell you. I'm glad to be back. I do plan to get back on my weekly schedule of podcasting. I'm going to have to figure out how to work that with my camping. Although as winter comes, we will not be camping as much. But until I see you next time, I hope your weeks are filled with love and laughter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.